Hi, I'm Elizabeth at the Radford Public Library, and Story and I are stopping in to give you a book recommendation for a terrifying book titled The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, written by Grady Hendrix. It's intense, it's a lot of fun, it's fast-paced, it's so creepy. It is about, let's see if I can tell this quickly. It's about a group of women who are in a book club together. They are good friends. They all live in the same community in Charleston. It's a lovely area. They meet to talk about books about serial killers, normally nonfiction books, so Charles Manson, Ted Bundy, the big serial killer names. And this is kind of how they get their excitement every month. Otherwise, they're at their very nice homes taking care of their lovely families. So one of the main characters in this book club is a woman named Patty Campbell. She has 2 kids and a husband who's a psychiatrist, and she's taking care of her husband's mother who's ailing. She's declining with dementia, so she's got a lot on her plate, and she wishes for something exciting to happen in her life. And that exciting thing does happen, which is that a vampire moves in next door. And this vampire starts picking off children as his victims, as his food, in a nearby neighborhood that is not as affluent as the neighborhood that she lives in. And this comes to her attention because her housekeeper, Mrs. Green, who also takes care of her mother-in-law, knows that something is happening, but doesn't know who or why or how. And so Patty begins to put it together that this lovely new neighbor, who's very handsome, very charming, his name is James Harris, she realizes that even though vampires aren't real, this man is a vampire. And vampires are kind of the original serial killers, so who better to address this vampire and get him out of their neighborhood than the women of the book club. So it starts off being a campy read and a fun read, and then it becomes super intense, hardcore horror that's both psychologically and physically violent and gory. There's lots of creepy scenes with bugs, spiders, rodents, things that I will not soon forget. But I still couldn't put it down, even though I'm not much of a horror reader. I think it's got lots of layers. It's set in the 90s, which is really fun for some nostalgia for the 90s. It's a smart horror, in my opinion. It's more than a story about a vampire and women in a book club. It's also about women fighting for autonomy. It's also about various kinds of social inequities. I think it's a brilliant read. I think it's an important read. I think it's done very well and with a great sense of character development. It's a fun pace, and I just really couldn't put it down. I can't say enough about it. So this is The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. It's written by Grady Hendrix. If you want something different, if you want something compelling, if you want something that you're going to read with, white knuckles while you're gripping the book and lose a little bit of sleep over, I think this is the book for you. Thanks for listening. I hope you'll check it out.